Hey you, what up? Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. It's time for Faves X Fails for the month of September, filmed in October, aka the best roundup makeup video on the internet. This is the one to watch. This is the one where you will learn about all the best things in makeup, all the worst things in makeup for the month. This is the type of video that I like to conduct once a month and show you rather than tell you why certain products are my favorite and why others don't work for me. So without further ado, let's get into this video. Remember to subscribe if you aren't already. Hit that notification bell so you can see all of my Wednesdays and Sundays videos. Do it, because if you snooze, you lose. Let's get into it. Faves X Fails, September, here we come. Okay, I need to wake up because my voice is like a little hoarse. I had quite a weekend. I had quite a Saturday, to say the least. Went out with my friends that I haven't seen in a while. Had a lot of drinky poos. It was Oktoberfest, aka a shit show, because after German beers, we actually had Mexican tequila, and I learned that those two things should not be mixed. I'm fine, just chilling. So, let's start with a makeup fail this time around. And this first product that I want to talk to you guys about, I have given it more than a fair chance. I have tried it so many times in so many different ways with so many different products. Unfortunately, I'm talking about the P. Louise eye base for your eyeshadows. This is a weird product. A lot of people swear by it. A lot of people seem to like it. They seem to enjoy it. They think that it makes their eyeshadow adhere better onto the skin. It makes it brighter, it makes it more popping, more long lasting. Unfortunately, it was not the case for me. As many times as I've tried it, it was just never reliable. It never gave me that solid wear. Moreover, the last time that I tried it with my Too Faced Cinnamon Swirl palette, I went on a date with Lee. We were sitting at a restaurant. It was like dim lighting, candlelight. You get the picture. So Lee looks at me and says, "Hey, your eyeshadow, it's separating." Separating, I said. Do you mean it's creasing? So then, of course, I took out my mirror, I looked at myself, and I realized, it's that P. Louise base. It's not reliable, it's not trustworthy. We are no longer friends. I will no longer give it any more chances. Moreover, I feel like it's a glorified concealer, except it creases AF. Anyway, speaking about primers, let's actually apply a primer onto my face that works. Essence My Skin Perfector Tinted Primer. This is not a new product, but as always with these videos, if I don't have a new product in a category, I just go for the one that works, or my longtime fave. Sadly, I'm running out of this one, so I need to stock up. Also, this is a product that I don't necessarily apply to my entire face, just to my pore zones, because this is where I am the most oily. This is where my makeup tends to separate. Also, it's where I have the most texture. I have some acne scars right here, some enlarged open pores over here, and also my forehead right in between my brows, and just like above the brows tends to get very, very shiny throughout the day. So I just like to dabble a little bit there. Okay, good. Next up, in the foundation category, should I talk about a fail or should I talk about a fave? Let's talk about a fail. Another product that I have given so many chances and it just does not work for me is the Nars Soft Matte Complete Foundation. Yeah, this is a matte foundation and I am oily AF. Unfortunately, this is another one of those foundations that's not reliable for my very oily skin. This I can only wear for about an hour, maybe an hour and a half tops, before it starts becoming a grease pan, a frying pan on my face. So oily, so nasty, and moreover, it looks like a mask. Even when I use just a little bit of product, even when I just spread it out thinly, it's still not reliable for me. I don't know why. I've tried it in so many different ways and I hate it. Moreover, this is a $49 product, $49 foundation, and it's Nars. I'm shocked. Nars products typically work for me. The original Nars foundation, I like. This one is a no-go. Sorry. However, I will talk about a foundation that I have been loving, I think for 2 months in a row now. This Lawless Conceal the Deal Clean AF foundation is amazing. Now, this is said to be a long-wearing, self-setting, full coverage foundation. I wouldn't necessarily call it full coverage. That's like the only caveat. I would say it's medium buildable, but definitely not full coverage like this. It's not a mask, but that's not a drawback. I actually really like the finish of this foundation. It looks great on like somewhat problematic skin like mine. Damn, why do I look so sick today? Back to what I was saying. Right now, actually doesn't look so problematic. It looks pretty damn good because we haven't hit that super cold season yet. Wait for it. Wait until like Thanksgiving time, my least favorite time of the year. That is when my skin goes through it. In this foundation, I am either shade Tawny or Palo Santo. I can wear both. So I'm just gonna go for Tawny today. This one, you do need to shake it up. Again, you don't really need too much product. I hate it when I drop foundation on my pants. But I do it to myself because I literally squirt foundation from the tube onto my face. So with this foundation, I find that less is really more. You don't need a lot of product. You don't want it to look cakey and fakey. So I like to apply it to the perimeter of my face first and then kind of bring it in. With this one, I really feel like the formula is so flexible. It's so easy to use. It's very forgiving on skin texture. It has good coverage, though not full coverage. But for me, right now, this is perfect. It wears really well. It feels super lightweight on the skin. And it's $39. Okay, next. I have a new concealer that I'm loving this month, and it is from KOSAS. Yes, another clean AF brand, but this is the first time I'm actually really liking one of their products. This concealer is very, very creamy. It's also very hydrating. So for those of you who have a drier under eye, you will really like this concealer. Again, very forgiving in terms of finish, texture, just a light formula, but has pretty decent coverage. I'm just applying concealer exactly where I need it. I'm being very precise with it, letting it sit on my face, and then I'm gonna blend everything out. I also find that this is great pairing with my One Size translucent setting powder. So because the concealer is very creamy, but the powder is very smoothing and it's very reliable, keep using that word today. Because that's what you want from your makeup. You want it to be reliable. You want it to do exactly what it says, and you want it to last all day. You don't want it to fail you. Sadly, in today's video, there's gonna be a lot of fails. We're just getting started. One Size for the win. Not a new product, but a longtime fave at this point. Oh, this is such a great marriage. Obsessed with these two products together. This part of my face right now looks filtered. Okay, so I'm gonna set this powder aside and I'm gonna go over another fave translucent powder. We have the new Makeup Forever Matte Translucent Setting Powder. Basically, it's from their Ultra HD line, and I have it in two shades here, Banana and Beige Doré, or Golden Beige. I've been using both of them. I will say Golden Beige is like a little bit more skin matching for me, whereas Banana is a pinch lighter, but I wouldn't necessarily use Banana under my eyes because I still like that brightening effect. So I still like to use a translucent powder for that. So I'm gonna reach for the Beige Doré, just like a big old fluffy brush with lots of cat hair on it. Dip, tap off, and then what I like to do is tap the brush on a flat surface, so like on the table here, like this, just so the powder gets in the bristles a little bit better. This is how Makeup Forever powders are said to be used best. And then I'm just gonna sweep that lightly across my forehead. Do you see how it just mattified everything? But what I like about this one is that although it mattifies, it doesn't look like a mask. It doesn't look too heavy and it doesn't look too fake. Also, this is a powder that I find to be very reliable and extremely long wearing. It's something that perfects the skin, makes it look better. And it actually kind of reminds me of Bare Minerals Mineral Veil, but the pressed powder version, the one that I've been loving. This powder, I will say, is like the loose version, or like the loose sister of that Bare Minerals pressed veil. This is $37. Definitely a fave this month. All right, so speaking of powders, should we go there? Yeah, I guess it's time that we go there. This month, I am sadly not loving the new Huda Beauty GloWish Luminous Pressed Powder. Womp womp. This was not a hit for me, you guys. This powder to me, unfortunately, could not be used in the way that it was advertised, in the way that it was marketed. So I tried using it the way that it was intended to be used, with a sponge, picking it up from the pan, and then just gliding across my face. This applied all sorts of patchy, clinging to certain areas of my face, to certain textures more than others. It was emphasizing every little bump, every little crevice. After I tried to make it work, I removed it and I applied it with my Bare Minerals Tinted Gel Cream. It just didn't wear very well at all. The finish was so luminous that it was almost metallic, and unfortunately that's just not flattering on most skin types. I mean, I guess it would look good on like a prepubescent child, but for anyone with any type of texture or dry patches or pores or breakouts, it's just not ideal. It makes your texture look worse. Thus, it makes your skin look worse than before. So I'm not a fan. A lot of like the clean powders and clean foundations, they're just not advanced enough for oily AF skin. They just cannot withstand the oils. That's just what it is. Let's face it. Same thing happened to me with the LYS foundation. Beautiful foundation, beautiful shades that matched me very well, but my skin ate it by the end of the day. But I will say this. I'm not gonna get rid of it for the simple reason. Using this product with an all over face brush and adding it just to the perimeter of your face, not to the center, but maybe to like the cheekbones, even the jawline, that gives a really nice hint of color and also just a pretty glow. So I would say this is probably best to be used as a finishing product, like a luminous all over glow, but not all over, just like in certain key areas where your face can handle it. So sadly, it was a fail, but I love Huda Beauty's GloWish bronzer. This guy is an amazing bronzer. It's actually probably my recent most favorite bronzer that I reach for and use all the time. So why not? I'm gonna use it today. I'm gonna swirl it up. Gonna hit up the sides of my forehead, top of the forehead. This is different. This is not luminous. It has just like a very soft radiance about it, but it feels and looks very natural, very skin-like, very easy to build, super easy to blend. All right, I've got one more fail to talk about, and this is in the bronzing contouring category. Unfortunately, this month I just did not love the new iconic London Precision Duo Contour Pot Duo. This was super duper weird. I mean, at first when you open this up, looks like eyeshadow, but then there's like a second level here. And on the bottom, it looks like one of those cream shadow types of products. So the way that you're supposed to use this is to dip into the cream and basically add on your contour, and then you're supposed to set it with the powder after you apply foundation. So not super intuitive, but also just not a great product. I did not love the shades whatsoever. So there's actually 4 shades altogether, and I saved 2 of them just for this video. I saved the medium and the tan. There's nothing in between the medium and the tan, but the discrepancy between the shades was quite staggering. Here's the medium, here's the tan. So the tan looks almost like chocolate, whereas the medium barely showed up on my skin. That's how light it was. Like a person with medium complexion cannot contour with this shade. That's just not gonna work. It's not gonna show up. Whereas the tan is pretty dark. So there clearly needs to be another shade in between those two. Basically, there wasn't a shade for me, and when I tried to like mix these two together, it just looked like dirt on my face. It didn't look very flattering. Also, I really didn't like the colors of these powders. They were very, very cool, and I get that contouring is supposed to be cool, but this was like almost gray cool. So this would perhaps work for Halloween or maybe for stage when like you're literally changing your physical appearance, but not for real life. Cute idea, I guess, but just the execution wasn't there, so didn't work for me. Sorry, but not sorry. Okay, let's move on. Back to GloWish. This month, I actually am really liking the GloWish blushes. These were really nice. Not luminous metallic, but actually really pretty and very flattering. My favorite shade is the Caring Coral. It's just so beautiful and peachy pink. Just love it. Today I'm actually gonna go for a different shade. I'm gonna go for Charming Cherry. My only one criticism with this product is that the pan is so tiny and my cheeks are so big. They're so giant. The blush brush that goes with this doesn't exactly fit. So for me, I just wish the pans were a pinch bigger, but the color, stunning. The way that it just hugs the cheek, almost has like a glow from within type of radiance. And now this blush is $21 and you get 2.5 grams. It's made in Italy and it's just so lovely. Moving on to brows. I have a new favorite brow product in the brow category, and it's the new Makeup by Mario Eyebrow Gel. This one is very similar to my Benefit 24-hour brow setter. I actually have a video comparing those two and showing you like my current brow technique, but in this video, I'll just do it quickly. Basically, I'm brushing the brow gel through the brows, but backcombing them to really coat all the individual strands. Then I shape the brow to my liking. And this is Mario's trick. Basically, I roll the cap over the brows just to kind of set them in place. And this really helps to glue them onto the skin, which is something that I like to do because my brows are very unruly. So for me, this works just as good as a 24-hour brow setter by Benefit. So I've been using it nonstop and I've been loving it, which is why it's a fave for me this month. Also, it's $20. Not as much product as the Benefit, but it's $20. Okay, so brows are nicely set and laminated. I'm gonna use my NYX Lift and Snatch brow pen to quickly fill it in. but you've already seen me do this 100 times, so we're gonna skip through this. Okay, brows are done. I'm gonna use my Fenty Beauty eyeshadow primer that you already know I love. I've been loving it for a long time. I love you long time. Oh yes, I have to talk about more brow products that I'm not loving this month. And I have two. The obvious one this month is the Rare Beauty Shape and Fill Duo Powder Brow Fill product. This one comes in a cute packaging, but it's really not that cute if you think about it. There's a brush that attaches to the product, but you have to be very careful with how you place it back in because the brush itself isn't very precise, and if you don't precisely put it back into this little hole, then basically you'll ruin the brush and it'll become even more unprecise. Moreover, I really didn't care for the quality of these powders. I thought they weren't pigmented enough. Also, they were kind of a little too creamy for my liking, but without pigment. It's hard to explain the texture and the finish of this product, but I just didn't like it. It didn't really work for me. It took a little too long to fill in my brows with this product. It just felt like a bit of a waste. Also, this is $24, so, you know, not super affordable. I will say the shades are pretty nice because they're not super orange or super warm. I quite prefer a cooler brow, but it's not enough for me to like a product. I want it to be user-friendly. I want it to be quick, easy, and also I'm very picky about my brow products. So this one didn't work, but it's not the only one. The second product that I didn't really love in the brow category this month, and I actually got rid of it. I don't even have it to show you, but it's the Huda Beauty Balm Brows Fiber Gel. So now this came with a really tiny little wand, and the point of this product was to add fibers to your brows. I guess it was kind of like a pointless product for me. I didn't really see the benefit of using something like that for myself because I already have pretty full brows. But moreover, I found it to be very fussy. It wasn't user-friendly, it wasn't intuitive, it wasn't easy to use. The wand was like super thin, but the product itself was kind of goopy and kind of thick, you know? So it was just, there was a learning curve, and I guess I didn't care enough to continue learning, so I just gave it away. Moving on. So I have a lot of new eyeshadow palettes that I've tested out this past month. So the first fave eyeshadow palette of the month is this new Nars Climax eyeshadow palette. This one is absolutely stunning. First of all, the packaging is gorgeous. Secondly, the color story is beautiful. Thirdly, these shadows, in my opinion, are the best eyeshadows that Nars has ever offered us. These metallic shades are very versatile. They are the kind of metallic shades that you could wear during the day or amp them up for night. So they're not like super metallic, super reflective. They're just like a little bit finer. I really, really like this palette. This is $49, but to me, it's really worth it. I'm a huge fan. Also, I might have said this in the video in which I reviewed this one, that reminded me a lot of the Huda Beauty Jaguar palette, the new one that just came out with the Wild Obsessions. But after having compared them side by side, and after having tested them out, I realized that they are both different because the actual formulations and just like the textures of the shadows were different. But both are gorgeous and I'm keeping both. So this was in the #1 slot of faves. In the #2 slot of faves was the new Natasha Denona Retro palette. This is a $65 palette, but I would say this is in the same price range because this has a lot more eyeshadows. This one's 15, this one's 9. The sizes are about the same. This was very cute and obviously performed very well, and it was just another great hit from Natasha Denona. The only thing is the color story seemed a little bit dusty for me. It just seemed a little dated, like a little Dusty Rose Pashmina-esque. You know what I'm saying? Although the palette is great quality, it's not my favorite color compilation from Natasha, but I still like it and I will still use it, of course. Next on my list, well, it's a tie. Alexa, read me the notification.
2 shipments have arrived, including Halloween Skull.
Halloween Skull? Uh-oh. That's for my backdrop. Where was I? All right, so it's a tie between the Too Faced Cinnamon Swirl limited edition palette and the Fenty Beauty Balm Posse eyeshadow palette. I will say that a lot of people did not like this palette. A lot of people said it was very boring. It's stuff that they have seen before. Fenty could have done better. They could have made like deeper tones. But in my opinion, I actually thought it was a pretty good palette. I liked it. I thought it was neutral enough that everyone can use it. And I really liked the metallic shades. I thought some of them were similar. Like they could have probably eliminated 1 or 2, possibly even 3 shadows and just make it a little bit more interesting, perhaps add a black in there or maybe like a white so that like more people can get more use out of it. But overall, the quality of this palette was very, very good. And I was able to create a pretty artistic look with it that I enjoyed. So to me, this was a good palette, though not everyone agreed with me, and that's totally fine. Anyway, this was $48, and the Cinnamon Swirl is $49. Again, very fall appropriate, has a pop of color or a couple pops. I've seen this palette before. I've even seen it before from Too Faced, but this is what they do every year, and this was really good quality. The eyeshadows were very rich. I especially like the darker mattes, performed very well. I can't really complain. And now, onto my least favorite palette of the bunch, which is actually in my fails category this month. I'm so sad to say that I did not love the Urban Decay Naked Cyber palette. This was not a hit for me. I think this missed the mark by a lot. So this is supposed to be a 2000s inspired or even 90s inspired type of palette with lots of duochromes. These are shades that reflect different colors depending on how the light hits it. So there were several duochromes in here. I did enjoy those shades, but I will say that the first half of the palette and also this last shade, I didn't get at all. It was very specific, not something that could be used in multiple ways. It was basically a very peachy, orangey color story with some duochromes. So to me, it was ambitious, but it didn't quite hit the mark. Moreover, this is something that I didn't mention before because I didn't put two and two together, but I unfortunately developed a really weird reaction to the eyeshadows in this palette. I don't know what it was. I think I used this shade Override and this shade Y2K and also Static. I don't know what happened, but the following day my eyelids were swollen, and the day after that they started peeling. Not like a major peel, like after a chemical peel type of peel, but there was definitely like crustiness, like there was texture. My lids felt like sandpaper, and I didn't realize that it was caused by this, but this was literally the only thing I tried that week. So I don't know if this happened to anyone else. I don't know if maybe perhaps this was mixed with something I ate. I don't know, but I'm just throwing it out there. Beware. Sad to say, this is my least favorite naked palette of all time. And I'm a collector of the naked palettes, which is why this is like so personal to me. I love these. Shall we put on some faves? I'm gonna dip into this Nars. I'm gonna start off by dipping into this mauve shade here. And with my eye open, I'm just gonna shade this outer portion of my lid, just like this, kind of just mapping out a shape. I do have somewhere to go after this, so I kind of wanna look cute, like that. And then just connecting that to the outer lid, like that. I'll blend it out in a bit. For now, I'm just mapping out the shape. Like so. Next, I'm gonna take a clean fluffy brush and just go over that and blend and blur those edges. Next, I'm gonna take a precise brush. This one is Sephora Smoky Liner brush. I'm gonna dip into this wine shade and deepen and darken that outer edge. Like that. I know it's a lot. And then same thing here. First brush, first shadow, just blending that out a little bit more. And now I'm gonna pick up this shade with my finger, and you'll see how pretty and flattering it is. I'm just gonna slap that all across the lid. Do you see how like fine and delicate this shade is? It just has like this really beautiful, almost Pat McGrath quality to it, where the eyeshadow looks like it's wet, but not glittery and not super metallic. Just beautiful. Easy peasy. Also gonna reach for Cinnamon Swirl, and this shade here called Gooey Goodness. Adding that to the inner corner for a pop. Adding that to the brow arch for a pop. So this month I also have a new favorite liner. That's right, this one is also from Nars. And it is the new Climax Liquid Eyeliner Explicit Black Waterproof Eyeliner. This one is made in Japan, and it is $24. So what I like about this liner is that at first glance, it looks huge, but then when you turn it to the side, it actually is fine. So you can easily be very precise with this liner, or you can fill in the shape. So that to me is smart. That to me is effective, and I like it. So I've been using it a lot for this new eyeliner trick that I've been doing that I learned from the tutorials. And I'm gonna do it again. I'm gonna first wing out my liner. Then with my eye open, I'm gonna drag this line back across the lid, keeping it super fine and precise. Then I'm gonna turn this liner to its side and fill in that part. And this liner makes it so easy to do. Now what I'm also going to do is flick this line back right along my crease, just like that. So really you won't see it with my eye open, you'll only see it when I look down. I've been experimenting with this liner technique and I honestly find it genius. Now flicking it back, also gonna extend my inner corner just a little bit because this is a waterproof liner and you can do that. All right, I know the liner is essentially done. Next favorite product on my list this month is the new highlighter from LYS Beauty. This Aim High Pressed Highlighter Powder comes in 3 shades. I have it here in Genuine, which is a rose gold, and also Brave, which is a champagne. I've been using these nonstop. These are so beautiful, so microfine, so luminous, but with a very modern take on a highlighter. Almost has like a glass skin finish, but without enhancing any texture, without looking too fake. It's just pretty and it's just right. So I'm gonna go for the champagne shade again. I'm gonna pick that up and add that high on my cheek. Do you see how pretty that is? What I like to do here is apply it kind of heavily at first and then just blur that down. And that right there looks like glass to me. So pretty. Also, I love the fact that they are only $19. I love the packaging. I love the shades. I love the story behind this brand. It belongs to a friend of mine, Tisha Thompson. Hey Tisha, so proud of you. And this is probably my favorite launch thus far from LYS Beauty. I cannot put these down. They are just mwah. In the same category of highlighters, however, I can't say that I'm loving as much as the LYS Beauty, the new Fenty Beauty highlighter palette. So this one is the Diamond Balm Triple Threat Highlighter Palette that is set to be used for the face or for the body, but I absolutely do not think that these super sparkly, creamy type of powders are for the face at all. They honestly look a little too glittery to be used anywhere in the cheekbone, anywhere near the pores area. To me, this is a product that is solely to be used for the body and not even like all year round, because it does have like a little bit of a creamy, a little bit of a greasy finish, just a pinch. Not something that you could even wear on the face really, because your hair is gonna get stuck to it. So I didn't hate it because it did look really nice on my collarbone and on my chest and on my shoulders when I did wear it, but I just don't see myself reaching for it a lot. I'm gonna curl my lashes and I'm gonna show you 2 of my favorite mascaras for the month. Yeah, I have 2, and that's a lot for me because I typically don't like mascaras because I usually gravitate towards waterproof formulas. And let's face it, the waterproof formulas are just not as great formulation. Like, they don't make your lashes as big or as fluffy as the regular formulas. We know this, but because I am someone who cannot wear regular mascaras, I'm limited in options. But not no more, because I've discovered the Huda Beauty Legit Lashes Waterproof Top Coat, which was in my last month's Faves X Fails in the Faves category. And now with this top coat, I can actually reach for more mascaras. Having said all that, this month I am loving the new mascara from Patrick Ta and also the new mascara from Rare Beauty. I will say that these 2 are dupes actually. They are very, very similar products, very similar wands that are non-gimmicky by the way, and this is what we love around here. But the Rare Beauty is a little bit cheaper. This is $20. The Patrick Ta one is $29. Both are great. I've been wearing both. What I like about these is that they really do magnify the lashes. They make them look fluffy. They make them look super dark, very voluminous, and just nice. You see that? I'm gonna use the Patrick Ta on this side and the Rare Beauty on the other eye. Similar consistency, both on the creamier side, and definitely gives the lashes a similar effect. Though I will say the Rare Beauty is a little bit cleaner looking. So perhaps not as voluminous as the Patrick Ta, but just like a little bit more precise. So now I'm gonna coat them. Remember, you do not need to coat your lashes like crazy with this product. Just 1 coat is enough. Next for the lips, not a new product, but I gotta say, I have been loving the Dragon Beauty lip liners. They are so good. They are so nice and long. The colors are very flattering, and the formula is just so good. Unfortunately, they don't have shade names. They only have the color at the tip of the pencil, but I'm gonna go for this one here. It looks like a brownie nude. And I'm gonna go for a slightly darker shade, just for a little contour. And then for the lips, I have a lot of faves this month. Number 1, I have been loving the Too Faced Lady Bold lipstick collection. The formula in these lipsticks is beautiful. It's very, very pigmented, but very silky with a hint of shine, but not like overly shiny and greasy looking. Just a beautiful formulation, beautiful shades, nice collection. I like it. $24 for this one. This shade Takeover got so many compliments on the day that I was wearing it. I am obsessed. Next, I'm also liking the new Fenty Beauty Heat Gloss Balm in the shade Hot Chocolate Heat. Now, this is actually supposed to be a lip plumper, but it's nothing of the sort. It does not actually plump your lips. Maybe it gives it like a little mild tingle, but it absolutely does nothing in terms of plumping. It's not like one of those Too Faced lip injection type of glosses, but the color is so stunning and it's so fall appropriate, and it's just like the most beautiful, chocolatey, sheer brown goodness that I wanna literally wear all season long. And because of that, I don't even care if it doesn't plump. And it's $22, by the way. Last but not least, I have been loving the new Morphe Make It Big lip glosses. Now this also has like a little bit of plumping, perhaps more than the Fenty Heat, but not enough for me to actually go ahead and say that it works, but the colors are so stunning. It's $12, it's inexpensive, and I've been reaching for it a lot, so I've been liking it, and I'm gonna use it again. You know what, since I wanna go for brownie, let me do a little bit of both. I'm gonna use the hot chocolate from Fenty on the outer portion of my mouth. I'm gonna go for a little ombre gloss moment, just like that. And then on the center, I'm gonna go for the Posh Petal Make It Big Gloss. Obsessed. All right, you guys, so that is my look using my faves, but not my fails. And this is the vibe for today. Fall appropriate glam, just a little bit more jazz with just a little bit more pizzazz. Anyway, you guys, let me know below what are some of your favorite products for the month? What are some of your fails? Let's talk, let's start a conversation. I had so much fun putting this video together and putting this look together. I feel that I look a lot better than when I first started this video, and I definitely am a little bit more together now. So with that said, I am going to zoom on out so that you can check out my next couple of videos. Click on them, and I will see you in the next one.